Oh yes. Read the side of that box. Bam! Stump grinder. That story is coming up next. All right, we just got the Houdini box opened up here. It had these weird little tabs that you had to bend back and get the top off. But not bad packing, pretty decent. And that's a whole lot of man machinery right there, folks. So we're gonna take all this out, stage it, and we're gonna start putting it together. What we got over here are some tires. This is the battery. I got the electric start version of this stump grinder. I'm getting tired of pulling on engines. We got a tow bar, the protective shielding to prevent all the scraps and pieces from flying back at you. We got the steering mechanism over here, another part of the frame. There should be an extra set of teeth in here somewhere. Don't know where those are, but it's one of these. Looks like these, yeah. Those are the extra set of teeth, as it says on the bag. And we're gonna keep at it. All right, we're gonna get the second one on here, and I'm gonna get this collier pin out, which is this little piece here. You can see the hole right there that this goes into to secure it. We got this bolt that is connected with a washer. That's actually gonna hold the wheel in place. So I'm going to loosen that. Whew. It's got some threading on it too, which is great. There we go. Washer's next. And then the bolt goes back on. Put the collier pin back in. That looks good. And then we bend both of these or one of these out to prevent it from coming back through, just like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you put tires on. Got to tighten this nut up a little more, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, we got the wheels on the stump grinder so far. They're all tightened up. We got the collier pins in there. The cool thing is the wheels came inflated, so I didn't have to do any extra work there. We put the leveling leg down, or the stabilization leg down, so we could work on it a little easier. Next piece to do is get this kind of center mast piece on. There's 4 bolts that go here. They're going to go where these bolts are. What I also like about how they package this is they put all of the nuts and bolts in the holes that they're supposed to go in. So there wasn't a separate package for those, which is really nice on this. So we're just going to continue on, get these on. I'm going to unloosen these and we'll put this on. So we'll show you that in a second. All right, so we've got a bolt, 2 washers, a locking washer, and a nut. What's going to happen here is you're going to have 1 washer and the bolt, and that's going to sit on the top. And then on the bottom, you'll have a washer, a locking washer, and then this nut will go in underneath. And that will tie all this into place once you have this piece sitting on top of that. All right, we're lining it up here. Put the first bolt in just kind of so we can hold it in place here. There we go, mine's in. All right, got that in place. All I'm going to do here is put the 2 washers on and the nut underneath so it holds in place, and we'll do that for all 4 here, and we'll go from there. Got the first set of nuts in here, and I'm just tightening this up. As you can see, I had both the wrench and the socket going, so we're just going to do all 4 here. And 1, 2, 3, and then the one on the other side, 4. Tighten that up, and then this will be secured. And then we're ready for the next piece, which I believe is this guard shield here, which is going to go on in underneath on the back side there. So I don't know if we'll have to flip this over, but we'll figure it out. Looks like there's a couple of bolts here that may go to, but it's got a bunch of, yeah, there's 2 bolts here, and I think that's gonna attach right here. So you got one there, one here. I think it's gonna attach there, but we'll find out here in a second. All right, we've just secured the main mast of the stump grinder here. We also put in the shield protector that will prevent the chips from coming back and hitting you in the ankles and feet. It was kind of weird the way this went on. So you take the bolt out of the back here, where my finger is, right there, and that nut right here is welded to the frame. So you just have to take this bolt out exactly the way it was positioned, and then you put this entire piece back on, and from the back side the bolt goes back through, as you can see here, and attaches to the frame. It's actually kind of neat the way they did that, because you don't have a bolt that is, or a washer rather, that is separated from the frame. It's actually welded to the frame, so all you have to do is take the bolt out and put it back in after you get it attached. Pretty neat the way they did that. So now we're going to put the steering mechanism control panel up here on, and as I mentioned earlier, we got the one with the electronic start, so it's going to have a battery hooked up to it, and then it will start automatically. But we also have the pull engine here, so you also have that option too, which is neat if the battery dies on you. So pretty neat setup from Power King. All right, we've got the main pivot rod out of there, and this is going to go on the top here. Oh, I see it, and it tightens up once you... Yep. All right, so we're just going to hook this on. The rod's going to go back through all the way. Washer.
Take it down just one.
Oh, I see. And you see how you got the teeth right there? They're kind of like lock into place here, so you can just move that to the position that is comfortable for you, and the teeth just locks into place. There's a little bit of a gap right there, as you can see, but this will tighten it up, and this side and this side will actually compress together, and then that will give you your options for tightening up the handle, the steering wheel, if you will, to the position that you want. We just hooked up the fast and slow throttling lever here. This was just a matter of unscrewing these 2 holes and the bolts and screws on them, and then attaching the unit to it. It's already hooked up on this side to the engine, so there's nothing to do here, and this is just a matter of moving it back and forth to the right speed that you want. The next thing that we're working on now is we've got this lever here. We're just going to figure that out right now, so that's coming next. All right, we figured out what this is for. This is a disc brake or padded brake for the left tire, and I just pulled it out of the packaging, and it's got to go onto this tire. So we got to take this tire off, put the brake pad on, hook the wire up, then put the tire back on. Pretty straightforward, but we've got to figure that out. So stay tuned. All right, we've got the thing tilted on its side. There's no fluid in it or anything, so, and I've got a carpet underneath to protect it a little bit, but we've got this pad braking system here, and you've got to imagine it on its upright, but we're just going to put this on like that, and you want to make sure that the cable that's going to come up from here is on the top side. So imagine it flip back over and this is laying on top. You'll see that here in a second once we get the tire on and flip it back over. But that's basically what's going on here. And then he's going to put the tire back on. Go ahead and put the tire back on. And then if you look at the tires are different. So this has this internal piece here where the pads are going to rub against, and then that tire is just a normal tire. So he's going to put this back on top. And it's just going to sit all the way in, and then the washer and bolt's going to go on top of it. And we're just going to tighten it back down like we did before, and then we'll show you how that's going to look on the inside, flip back over. Alright, we've got the stump grinder all put together here. This is going to be our very first stump that we're going to take down. This is a crepe myrtle that was just getting out of control. So we cut it all down. We got it down to the correct location here, and we're going to test this thing out for its maiden journey. Just put oil in. It takes 1.16 quarts of oil, I believe, and then I just fill it up with non-ethanol gas. We've got a electronic start, so the battery sits under there. We've got an hour meter on here, and now what we're going to do is we are going to start it up. All right, start it up on the first try. There you go. We're going to let that warm up for a bit. It's in the slow position, so the wheel is not turning, which is good for safety. Because of it's an electronic start, we've got a cutoff valve here if something happens, or if you connect this to your waist and happen to fall away from it, it'll disconnect the circuit and it'll shut it off. Run there. You stop?
Yeah.
Whew. Check it out. You got maybe pull this off. I think we got that much done in about 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. So this thing is grinding it away. So far, so good on this.
Yes.
And pretty happy with the way that's running. Because of the manual operation of this, you do have to put some upper body strength into it, and you got to kind of know where the blade is. It's my first time running it, so I still got a lot to get used to, but it definitely chews up the stump. And we might make some minor adjustments here so it makes it a little more ergonomic, but this is a great setup here, and it's easy to move around. But you really got to put your weight into it like this and maneuver around. I'm sure there's going to be a break-in period, but boy, does it do a pretty good job. And I'm expecting not to be gentle with this and just let the teeth grind away. And that's what I got to get used to, like a good chainsaw, right? Just run into it and let it go. So far, so good. We're going to continue finishing this one up. I'm going to let my partner in crime over here try it also. And then we'll go from there. Stay tuned. All right, this was my first stump grinder of this crepe myrtle. The grinder works really, really well, but you definitely have to manhandle it. I would suggest just being prepared for that. I need to get back to the gym, but we got down about almost 3.5 inches. That's right at the minimum that you're going to need to plant grass, I'm guessing. But I'm going to come back out here and do some more on this just to get it down a little further. And that was about 30 minutes worth of work. So my final thoughts on this is the QV Tools Electric Start Stump Grinder that I just put back up there. is a really good machine. Very good machine for the homeowner that has a bunch of stumps on his property. And if you want to start out stump grinding, it's the right price point to start off with, and it has a lot of power. So highly recommend. So with that, we're going to close this one out, call it a day, and then off to doing some more stump grinding. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out.